The Great Pyramid of Giza, an iconic symbol of ancient Egypt, stands as a testament to the incredible engineering and architectural prowess of its builders. For centuries, this enigmatic structure has sparked curiosity and wonder, leaving us eager to uncover the secrets behind its construction. While history has failed to provide us with a comprehensive account of how the pyramids were built, modern science and technology now allow us to take a closer look at these majestic monuments and explore the various theories and evidence surrounding their construction. Join us as we delve into the fascinating world of pyramid building and uncover the latest findings that bring us one step closer to understanding how these timeless structures came to be. From the meticulous planning and logistics to the innovative techniques and skilled craftsmanship involved, we'll cover all aspects of pyramid construction and shed light on the advancements that are helping us unlock the mysteries of these ancient wonders. So get ready to embark on a journey back in time and discover the groundbreaking insights that are revealing the secrets of pyramid building. Let's start by discussing how the Egyptians were able to build the pyramids in the first place. What kind of resources and technology did they have at their disposal? Well, let me tell you, it was nothing short of impressive. The Egyptians had developed advanced tools and techniques for quarrying and transporting large blocks of stone. They also had a deep understanding of geometry and astronomy, which they used to align the pyramids with the stars. But perhaps their greatest asset was their highly organized and efficient labor force. Contrary to popular belief, the pyramids were not built by slaves, but by paid laborers who worked in shifts and were given adequate rest and food breaks. The workers lived in nearby settlements and were proud to contribute to the construction of these magnificent structures. Now let's talk about the actual construction process. How did the Egyptians lift and place those massive stones without the aid of modern equipment? There are several theories, but the most accepted one is that they used ramps. Ramps were probably built using bricks or mud, and they allowed the workers to pull the stones up to higher levels using ropes and rollers. Some researchers believe that there were multiple ramps, including spiral ramps, that were used to transport materials to different parts of the pyramid. Another theory suggests that the Egyptians used a combination of ramps and levers to move the stones. This would have required a lot of manpower, but it would have been a relatively safe and efficient way to move heavy loads. Regardless of the methods used, it's important to note that the stones themselves were not perfectly cut. In fact, they were often rough and irregular, which saved the builders the time and effort needed to cut them precisely. But what about the interior chambers of the pyramid? How were they constructed? Recent studies have revealed that the interior chambers were actually built first, and then the outer structure was added. This was done to provide support and stability to the roof, which was made of granite. The roof itself was likely quarried near Lake Manzala, about 50 kilometers northeast of Cairo. The granite was chosen for its durability and resistance to erosion, and it was carefully cut and fitted together to form a watertight seal. This detail is crucial because it shows that the Egyptians were not only skilled builders, but also had a deep understanding of the importance of waterproofing in preventing the erosion of the pyramid. It is important to remember that the construction of the pyramids was a gradual process that took place over many years. Each pyramid was built in stages, and it's believed that the workforce could complete approximately one course of masonry per year. The courses were slightly tilted inward toward the center, and this created the characteristic shape of the pyramid. Interestingly, the slope of the sides was not uniform, and it varied depending on the location and purpose of each pyramid. The steeper the slope, the more stable the structure would be, but it also required more materials and labor. The Egyptians took this into account when planning the construction of each pyramid. One of the most intriguing aspects of the pyramids is their alignment with the stars. The Great Pyramid of Giza, for example, is aligned almost exactly with the cardinal points of the compass: north, south, east, and west. This suggests that the builders used astronomical observations to determine the direction and layout of the structure. In fact, all three pyramids at Giza are aligned with the constellation of Orion, which was considered a sacred and powerful group of stars in Egyptian mythology. The accuracy of the alignment is truly remarkable, and it indicates that the Egyptians had a sophisticated understanding of astronomy and mathematics. But how did the Egyptians manage to achieve such precise alignments? According to researchers, they used simple tools such as sighting rods and merkits, which were tools used for leveling and aligning structures. They also kept careful records of their measurements and used geometry to calculate the angles and distances needed for construction. What's even more amazing is that the builders were able to maintain these alignments despite the movement of the Earth's axis, which can cause significant changes in the celestial poles over time. This means that the pyramids had to be built with incredible accuracy so that they would remain aligned with the stars for centuries. But what about the longevity of the pyramids themselves? How were they able to withstand the test of time and remain standing for over 4,000 years? The answer lies in the unique shape and structure of the pyramids. Their sloping sides and broad bases distribute the weight of the structure evenly, making them incredibly stable. The outer casing of the pyramids, which has mostly eroded away over time, provided an additional layer of protection against wind and rain, which could have caused significant erosion if left unchecked. Moreover, the builders used mortar to hold the stones together, which further increased the stability and durability of the structure. Mortar is a mixture of lime, sand and water, and it was applied to the joints between the stones to fill any gaps and prevent the structure from crumbling. The use of mortar is often overlooked, but it played a crucial role in the longevity of the pyramids. It's interesting to note that the pyramids were built during the Old Kingdom period of ancient Egypt, which lasted from around 2680 to 2180 BCE. This was a time of great prosperity and stability in Egypt, and the pharaohs were eager to build grand monuments that would showcase the power and wealth of the kingdom. The pyramids served as tombs for the pharaohs and their consorts, and they were filled with treasures and offerings that were intended to provide for the pharaoh's needs in the afterlife. But why did the construction of pyramids end? There are several theories, but the most accepted one is that the Old Kingdom collapsed due to a combination of factors, including climate change, economic instability, and political upheaval. The decline of the Old Kingdom led to a decline in pyramid building, and the next two pyramids built in Egypt were not constructed until nearly 500 years later. As we conclude our discussion on how the pyramids were built, it's important to emphasize that much of what we know is based on speculation and educated guesses. The Egyptians left no written records of their construction methods, and were left to piece together the clues from the remaining structures and artifacts. However, the theories and models proposed by researchers are based on extensive studies and analysis, and they provide a fascinating glimpse into the ingenuity and craftsmanship of the ancient Egyptians. While we may never know for sure how the pyramids were built, we can appreciate the countless hours and the sheer determination it took to construct these magnificent structures. The pyramids are a testament to the human spirit of innovation and perseverance, and they continue to inspire awe and wonder in those who behold them. If you found this topic interesting, you might also enjoy learning about other ancient Egyptian mysteries, such as the purpose of the mysterious tombs discovered by Howard Carter in the Valley of the Kings or the unsolved riddle of the Rosetta Stone. You could also delve into the fascinating world of mummies and learn about the process of mummification and the secrets it holds. For a more historical perspective, you might want to explore the rise and fall of ancient Egyptian dynasties or the influence of ancient Egypt on neighboring civilizations. No matter what path you choose, I encourage you to keep asking questions, exploring the unknown and seeking answers to the mysteries that have captivated humanity for centuries. Who knows, you might just uncover the next big breakthrough in understanding ancient Egypt or any other historical civilization. The Egyptians' pyramids have captured human imagination like few other structures. Standing as silent sentinels in the desert sands, these monumental structures are more than just piles of rocks. They are tangible links to one of humanity's earliest and most influential civilizations. But despite their imposing presence and enduring legacy, there are many misconceptions about how and why the pyramids were used by the ancient Egyptians. Contrary to what many people believe, the pyramids were not primarily used as temples, treasure vaults, or astronomical observatories. Instead, evidence from archaeology and ancient texts reveals a more nuanced and fascinating truth. Join us as we uncover what the Egyptians really used the pyramids for and separate fact from fiction surrounding these enigmatic structures. What we really know. The foundation of our understanding of ancient Egyptian culture rests upon the Rosetta Stone, a black basalt slab inscribed with a decree issued at a temple in Memphis in the year 200 BC. The stone holds immense historical importance because it contains the same text written in 3 different scripts: hieroglyphic, demotic, and Greek. This trilingual artifact allowed scholars to decipher hieroglyphics, opening the door to understanding ancient Egyptian writing. One of the earliest texts to shed light on the use of pyramids is the Palermo stone. This piece of bedrock inscribed with a sequence of hieroglyphs dates back to the late Old Kingdom or early Middle Kingdom around 2483 to 2055 BC. Unfortunately, much of the stone has been lost to erosion and damage caused by human activity over the centuries. However, what remains includes a list of kings and their accomplishments. Among them, the Palermo stone mentions several pharaohs who built pyramids, including Khufu, Khafre, Menkaure, Sahur and Teti. Although the stone doesn't explicitly state the purpose of these pyramids, it does provide insights into their association with the pharaohs themselves, suggesting that they were likely used for burial. Further evidence comes from the archaeological record. Excavations inside the pyramids have uncovered burial chambers containing sarcophagi, mummies, and grave goods. For example, the discovery of a granite sarcophagus bearing the name of Khufu inside the largest pyramid of Giza confirms its use as a tomb. While we don't know exactly where all the pharaohs were buried, the main chamber of the Great Pyramid of Khufu is now believed to lie beneath the central chamber, which was likely covered by a huge granite dome. It would be natural for such a chamber to have been concealed during the construction of the later mosques so that they didn't expose the burials underneath. Together, these textual and physical records paint a clear picture. The Egyptian pyramids were primarily used as elaborate tombs for the pharaohs, reflecting their status, power, and beliefs regarding the afterlife. Beyond their use as tombs, however, the pyramids held deeper religious significance for the ancient Egyptians. Religious symbolism and function. To fully understand the role of pyramids in Egyptian society, it's crucial to consider the religious context of the time. Ancient Egyptians had a rich mythology and a strong belief in the afterlife. The pharaoh, considered both a political leader and a divine intermediary between humans and the gods, was believed to become a god himself upon death. Therefore, the way he was treated in death was of utmost importance. The pyramid's design played a significant role in this. The shape itself was seen as a symbol of the sun's rays, with the sloping sides representing the rays spreading across the horizon. This symbolism was particularly important for the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife, as it was believed that his soul would ascend to the sky to join the sun god Ra. In fact, many pyramids were aligned with celestial bodies and cardinal directions, showing the builders' understanding of astronomy and their desire to connect with the heavens. For example, the Great Pyramid of Giza aligns almost perfectly with the 3 stars in Orion's belt, suggesting a deliberate attempt to connect the pharaoh to the afterlife. The internal layout of the pyramids also reflected their religious function. Chambers and corridors were carefully designed not only to hold the pharaoh's belongings and body, but also to facilitate the soul's journey to the afterlife. In some pyramids, passages were built to resemble the journey of the sun across the sky, with shafts of light entering through narrow openings to symbolize the sun's rays reaching the burial chamber. These elements combined to create a sacred space where the pharaoh could rest in the knowledge that his remains and personal effects would accompany him in his journey to the heavens. As we continue to explore the interior chambers and passageways of these ancient structures, we may uncover even more evidence of their religious significance and the beliefs that shaped ancient Egyptian culture. Beyond the tomb, while the primary use of the pyramids was as tombs, they were often part of a larger complex that served both practical and religious functions. These complexes typically included temples, causeways, and smaller tombs for nobles and family members. The temples were not only places for priests to perform rituals and offer prayers, but also administrative centers where workers were paid and organized. Causeways, on the other hand, were pathways that connected various parts of the complex and served as routes for processions. Smaller tombs within the complex allowed for the collective burial of the pharaoh's family and court, reflecting the importance of community and continuity in Egyptian culture. As we learn more about these satellite structures and their connection to the pyramids, we gain a better understanding of the social, economic, and religious activities that took place within these vast complexes. The evolution of pyramid building over time provides further insight into their changing roles. The earliest pyramids built during the 3rd and 4th dynasties, known as the Old Kingdom, were massive and highly elaborate. As society changed and centralized power declined during the First Intermediate Period, pyramid construction shifted to smaller and less complex structures. During the Middle Kingdom, the pyramids continued to serve as burial grounds, but their religious function became more prominent. The pyramids of Amenemhat III and Amenhotep III, for instance, contained chapels and shrines dedicated to various gods, reflecting the growing influence of religion in society. During the New Kingdom, the size of pyramids decreased even further, with only a few exceptions, such as the Pyramid of Kuchumit II. By the late period, the traditional pyramid shape was abandoned in favor of more rectangular structures, although some pharaohs still chose to be buried in pyramids, such as Ramses III and Taharqa. This evolution shows that while the pyramid's role as a tomb remained constant, its religious significance and architectural form adapted to the changing needs and beliefs of Egyptian society. Separating fact from fiction. Despite the wealth of information available, many misconceptions and legends persist about the pyramids. One common myth is that the pyramids were used to imprison the souls of the dead, keeping them from moving on to the afterlife. However, this notion contradicts the very purpose for which the pyramids were built. As we've discussed, the pyramids were designed to facilitate the pharaoh's journey to the afterlife. Evidence from archaeology and ancient texts shows that the pharaoh's remains and personal belongings were intentionally placed within the pyramids to provide for them in the next world. Keeping the pharaoh's soul trapped would have been counter to the intentions of the builders. Another myth suggests that the pyramids were built as treasure vaults to hold the pharaoh's riches and precious artifacts. Again, this idea contradicts the historical evidence, as the pyramids were intended as burial places. The practice of burying valuable objects with the dead was common in many ancient cultures, but the pyramids themselves were not meant to store treasure. Instead, they served as monumental tombs to display the power and wealth of the pharaohs, as well as their beliefs about the afterlife. Separating fact from fiction is crucial when studying ancient civilizations like the Egyptians. Legends and myths can be captivating, but it is essential to rely on evidence from archaeology and ancient texts to gain a deeper understanding of these historical cultures. The Egyptian pyramids remain one of the most iconic and enduring symbols of one of the world's earliest and most influential civilizations. These magnificent structures were not just piles of rocks, but represented the ancient Egyptians' beliefs, values, and understanding of the world around them. By examining the evidence left behind, we can peel back the layers of history and separate fact from fiction to reveal the true purpose of these enigmatic structures. The pyramids, primarily used as elaborate tombs for pharaohs, also held deep religious significance, reflecting the ancient Egyptians' beliefs about the afterlife and their place in the cosmos. While legends and myths may capture the imagination, it's through careful study and analysis that we can truly appreciate the complexity and wonder of these ancient wonders. If you enjoyed this video, please don't forget to like and subscribe for more captivating content. And leave a comment on who you think would win in a match, Jesus or Popeye.